Imagine this. It's a Monday morning and your alarm goes off. You spent the last night prepping your meals for the week and watching videos about productivity. With all of these new ideas swirling in your head, you barely slept, as you were too excited about this new version of yourself that you unlocked. After turning off your alarm, you scroll your phone for 10 minutes, just like you do every morning. But by the time your feet hit the floor, you've somehow lost a little bit of that excitement that you had already. So you grab your favorite caffeinated beverage and hop in the shower in an attempt to get that spark back. Then you open up your laptop and you find yourself flooded with random emails and notifications. Maybe it's your phone bill, something Amazon thinks you'll love, or that subscription that you forgot to cancel. So you click through all these emails in an attempt to declutter your digital life. Finally, you opened up whatever you're working on for the day, but you've somehow lost almost all of that excitement that you had earlier on. You get your work done, but this idea of becoming a new version of yourself fades. By the end of the day, you're exhausted and unmotivated. So you skip the gym, you order takeout, and you hit the couch. Then you sit back, watch more videos, and the cycle repeats itself. If this sounds anything like you, guess what? You're in good company. This is exactly what happens to most people when they try to make changes in their lives. Unlocking top-tier productivity sounds simple, but in this day and age, it's more difficult than it has ever been before. And the reason why ties in with the first step to maximize productivity, and that is eliminating all distractions. Here's the truth. Attention is the new currency in the digital world. Companies are spending billions of dollars to make their apps as addictive as possible to keep you fully immersed in whatever they have to offer. Even if you spend just 30 minutes a day scrolling through different feeds, companies are able to monetize this by putting ads in front of you. And even the content itself is created with the goal in mind of being as engaging as possible, as that is what the algorithm amplifies. Our phones are the ultimate distraction device, allowing all of these different companies to make money off of our addiction. So the first step to unlocking maximum productivity is understanding just how addictive and damaging these distraction devices can be. Imagine for a moment that you're trying to start a new diet. Would you want your fridge to be full of fruits and vegetables or all of your favorite desserts? While many of us would want the desserts, we know that that's not best for us. And if you only have healthy food around, you're far more likely to follow that diet and avoid the bad stuff. Tying this back to productivity, you need to get rid of the desserts in your life, whether that be gaming, TikTok, or whatever that distraction is. And while deleting these apps altogether is the best option, a lot of people aren't ready to make that commitment. So what I recommend doing is grouping all of these apps together in your phone under the same folder. Because if you're starting a business, for example, you're going to need to be on your phone for different things. You're going to be far less likely to open these apps if they're not mixed in with the apps that are required to grow your business or do whatever it is that you're actually trying to do. I would also recommend putting all of your apps into folders and consolidating everything down to one screen. This can help cut down on the unnecessary scrolling, and it forces you to be very intentional about what you are looking to do on your phone. For most people, tackling the phone addiction is the most important part of the productivity equation. Next up, I would highly recommend tracking your time as a way to boost your overall productivity. This is something I started doing myself a few months back, and it's made a huge difference on my overall output. After finding that I was struggling to get everything done business-wise, I decided to start tracking my time as if it was a 9 to 5 to see how many hours I was actually putting in. I was under the impression that I was working close to 40 hours a week, but in reality, I wasn't even coming close. Instead, looking at the hard data, I was only working about 4 to 6 hours a day or 20 to 30 hours a week. After realizing this, I started following a more structured approach with my work schedule and getting at least 40 hours in every week. And this resulted in me getting a lot more done and also making more money from my business. Having talked to a lot of people about this, it's extremely common to overestimate the amount of time that you're putting into something if you're not tracking it. And then if you find that you're not reaching your goals or seeing the improvement that you're looking for, you can look back at your time going into that activity to determine if it's actually enough. The act of tracking your time will automatically boost productivity in most cases, as it takes all assumption out of the equation. Now, before we get into our next productivity step, I have a quick message from our video sponsor, ClickUp. Between running my YouTube channel, managing blogs, and taking care of repairs on my rental property, I like to be on top of things. And one of the most valuable tools that I've used for doing this is ClickUp. ClickUp is the ultimate productivity tool. It's one simple app that can replace all other productivity and reminder apps. You can create folders for all your projects, drag and drop checklist boards, collaborate with partners, and can even track your time on tasks and more. And the best part is, this is a free-to-use tool. Lately, I've been using ClickUp to manage the turnover for one of my rental units. Instead of using the notes on my phone or scribbling notes on scraps of paper, this is far more organized and effective. As a result, I've been able to stay on top of things like never before. I've also found the sense of accomplishment I feel when I check things off my list keeps me motivated and makes me want to do more. So far, I've completed about a dozen different personal and business-related tasks using ClickUp. Becoming a better version of yourself is all about incremental improvement each day. A 1% improvement doesn't seem like much, but if you do this every single day, you can completely change your life. You can kickstart that today by signing up for ClickUp and getting your goals written out. Once you start writing down your goals and creating checklists for how you'll accomplish them, you'll be amazed at how much you can get done. So click the link down below or visit tryclickup.co/Ryan to create your free account and make that first 1% improvement today. And if you end up using ClickUp to boost your productivity, be sure to come back and leave us a comment sharing your experience. The next simple step is my favorite productivity hack, and that is to eat the frog. The best part about this hack is that it works universally across the board. Here's how this works. We all have tasks that we have to complete each day. Many of these are work-related tasks, like responding to emails, but there's also household tasks like doing the dishes. What you do here is figure out the most difficult task of the day, or whatever it is that you are looking forward to the least. Then you complete that task first. By eating the frog or getting that out of the way, the rest of what you have to do is easier and more interesting to you. In addition, you'll be completing the most difficult task when you have the highest level of energy and concentration. If you don't follow this strategy, you'll most likely save the thing that you really don't want to do for last. And then you will probably decide to push that off until the next day if possible, creating a procrastination cycle. And if you want to take things a step further, here's what I do personally. You're going to start off by assigning a priority of 1 to 3 in terms of the tasks that you have to do and your level of interest in doing them, with number 1 being the most interesting tasks and number 3 being the least interesting. Then you would complete those tasks in reverse order, saving the most interesting tasks for the end of the day. This productivity hack has the potential to completely eliminate all procrastination, so I highly recommend following it. The last simple step I recommend following involves a shift of your perspective towards whatever it is that you are looking to accomplish. Whenever I find myself getting discouraged or losing motivation, I will ask myself if I'm focused on the process or the outcome. For example, losing 20 pounds would be an outcome that you're looking to achieve, whereas going to the gym and following a diet would be the actual process involved. When we become too focused on the outcome, it's easy to lose momentum as you start thinking about how you aren't where you want to be yet today. But if you instead think about the process, which will eventually get you to where you want to be, things become far more attainable. Top-tier athletes, for example, have an outcome that they are looking to achieve, but they understand getting there requires you to fall in love with the process. It's important to have specific goals and outcomes in mind, as this becomes your overall destination. But once you have your mental GPS set in terms of where you want to go, it's time to focus on the driving, or the process. And if you still find yourself struggling with motivation after doing this, you might have to consider whether or not the outcome that you're looking for is truly worth it to you. Or you might need to start out with an outcome or goal that is more attainable. For example, losing 5 pounds. Then, accomplishing that goal could be the catalyst to staying motivated and to keep going. These simple steps have helped me to dramatically increase my productivity over the years, and I hope they help you out too. And if you have any productivity tips or hacks that have worked really well for you, be sure to leave us a comment down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to click the sponsored link to sign up for a free ClickUp account today. It's a completely free tool that I found to be extremely useful when boosting my personal productivity. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you made it to the very end, be sure to drop a like as well as subscribe and hit the bell. You can click below to watch my latest video, and I'll see you there.